Welcome to the ultimate super coach and fantasy sports show. You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Hello and welcome. You are watching the Insight NBA show, and you're also listening to The Crossover. I'm your host, Matrix, and the show today is brought to you by the Standard Squeeze, Bonus Bank and Ryan from Astute Newstead. Look, let's head straight into the injuries. Look, the NBA injury wrap is brought to you by the Standard Squeeze. You can use promo code INSIGHT15 to get 15% off your order for all their fabulous products. Make sure that you pour the perfect nip and don't break any of your bottles. Look, in Atlanta, ryanh is obviously still injured and will be sidelined for some weeks. Meanwhile, in Boston, KP is questionable for Sunday's game due to the quad contusion. I look for maybe a Xavier Tillman to get a little bit more of a run there. In Brooklyn, Ben Simmons and Cam Thomas have both missed the last 3 games with leg soreness and an ankle injury, respectively. For the Hornets, both Seth Curry and Cody Martin have been ruled out of Sunday's game against the Raptors, both with ankle injuries. There's actually nothing going on in Chicago. No bull. There is no injuries to report, obviously, outside of, some season-ending ones that we're all aware of. In the land, Donovan Mitchell and Caris LeVert are listed as questionable for Sunday's game. Dallas is all in the clear as Dante Exum made his return and is ramping up there. In Denver, KCP missed today's game against the Lakers due to personal reasons and should return next game. No news is news, I suppose, for Detroit. For the Warriors, sore knees for both Steph Curry and Pod. They've been listed as questionable for Sunday's games, while Andrew Wiggins will miss another game through personal reasons as he is currently away from the team. There's a very much a history repeating vibe happening there. Houston Tari Eason is nearing a return. Could we see him at the end of this week, perhaps? He could be one that we want for our runs home. In Indiana, Ben Shepherd is listed as questionable due to an illness. For the Clips, Russell Westbrook has fractured his left hand and is out indefinitely, while less severe is an illness for Ivica Zubac, which has him questionable for Sunday's game. The Lakers are on the mend with Reddish recently returning. Vando and, of course, Gabe Vincent are currently out. In Memphis, we don't really know, but Triple J and Derrick Rose have missed the last couple of games with quad soreness and back soreness, respectively. In Miami, Kevin Love has been out with a heel injury, while Tyler Hero has missed the last 4 games with that hyperextended knee. In Milwaukee, Chris Middleton remains out with an ankle injury, but word is a return is on the horizon for Middleton. For the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards and Kyle Anderson both listed as questionable for Sunday's game with ankle soreness and that sprained knee. Anthony Edwards went down pretty hard the other day, but ended up stepping back out onto the floor. Nothing going on in New Orleans. In New York, it's just another week without OG and Julius Randle. In OKC, Jalen Williams, the forward, not the guard, will miss Sunday's game against the Suns, and all well is going in Orlando. Philadelphia, Melton is out indefinitely with that back injury, and Matty G is likely out for personal reasons because of this. Kelly Oubre and KJ Martin are both questionable for Sunday's games. In Phoenix, Devin Booker went down with an ankle injury and is no chance to play tomorrow on the second half of the Suns back-to-back. We'll look for more word as it comes out. Nasir Little and Eric Gordon will both miss Sunday's game against the Thunder with knee inflammation and knee soreness. In Portland, Ayton missed another game Saturday against the Grizzlies with that sprained hand. Jeremy Grant left that game with quad soreness and did not return. And Scoot Henderson's going to miss the next 2 away games against the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves with that abductor injury. De'Aaron Fox has missed the last couple games with a knee injury and is questionable heading into week 19. For the Spurs, not much going on there. Julian Champagny missed Sunday's game with an ankle injury. Scotty Barnes has a broken left hand and is out indefinitely, which definitely has some fantasy implications there. Utah, Jordan Clarkson and Walker Kessler both missed Saturday's game against the Heat due to illness and a foot sprain. While to round this all out, Bilal Koulibaly has missed the last 3 games with a pelvis injury and is currently questionable heading into this week. Look, let's have a look at the game schedule. This is currently brought to us by Ryan at Astute Newstead. Get in contact with Ryan. Let him know that the boys sent you, and use promo code Insight. Look, he does home loans, so whether you have a current home loan or you have one that you're planning, he can let you know what you can afford. Get in contact with over 40 different banks, and he can even save you money on your own home loan that you currently have. Pretty spread out week, this game slate. On Monday, we've got 6 games. On Tuesday, we've got 9. On Wednesday, we've got 8. On Thursday, we've got 7. Friday, 8. Saturday, 7. And Sunday, 9. I would say that, streaming is going to be very important, but maybe those back-to-backs, you could probably just slot them in and maybe play them both days. Make sure you have a look at your rosters to make sure you have a spot. Otherwise, it's basically like streaming them in one days. And I haven't really found a lot of talent in these back-to-backs, to be completely honest. Look, on Monday, Tuesday, we have the Nets, maybe a Dorian Finney-Smith in some deeper leagues. On Tuesday and Wednesday, we have the Hawks, we have the Cavs, the Rockets, the Magic, and the Sixers. You could be looking at Kobe Buffkin in deeper formats with Trae Young out. Caris LeVert, while he has game time decision, he had 15 assists in his last game, and Caris LeVert has been great all year, definitely streamable, only about 70% rostered at the moment. Dylan Brooks is always streamable for the Rockets, especially with Tari Eason out. You can always look at Wendell Carter Jr. or Mo Wagner. It doesn't matter which one you pick. The other one's probably going to go really well that game, but they seem to take it in turns, having really good games. And I can't believe I'm saying it. For the Sixers, you should probably be looking at Kyle Lowry. He had a really good game last game, and Paul Reed. On Wednesday and Thursdays, we have the Bulls, the Warriors, and the Kings. I'm not interested in anything to do with Chicago heading into finals at the moment. But Kuminga and CP3 should be rostered. CP3 is about 83% rostered, and Kuminga's pushing up to 80%. He's probably they are probably rostered in your leagues, but you should just look just in case. And with the Kings, you've got Harry Barnes, Malik Monk, and Kevin Huerta, which are all either rosterable or streamable, depending how deep your leagues are. Look, on Thursday and Friday, we've got the Heat and the Timberwolves. The new JJJ has some even more value, and I think you can squeeze a bit more out of him, even though that he's with the second unit. But anytime anyone gets injured in that starting unit, he seems to be the guy stepping up. And Jaden and Nickel Alexander Walker have top 200 value at the moment. Look, safe, streamable options. You know what you're going to get from those guys. On Friday, Saturday, you've got the Hornets and the Trailblazers. Grant Williams has played over 28 minutes in the last 3, whereas the Great Barrier Reef, Duop Reef, has played over 20 minutes in his last couple and is impressed with all these injuries, especially the one to DeAndre Ayton. On Saturday, Sunday, we have covered the Nets, but the Clippers, you've got Norman Terrence Mann. They should actually absorb Russell Westbrook's minutes. So look to see how that goes, or just add one and see how it goes as a flyer. We have had a chat about the Cavaliers earlier on. Look, not too much going on this week. I know a lot of the leagues are starting to head into finals. Make sure you stream accordingly. Make sure that you get yourself into all these finals, and then, pick up some guys that you think you can carry through. As going forward, we're going to have a look at the schedules week by week, and probably scan ahead so that you're not picking up these guys, I suppose, that aren't going to be playing too much in your finals. But that's all I've got today. You've listened to an Insight Fantasy Sports podcast. Cheerio.